We made a mistake, a fatal mistake. When the interstellar object 3I Atlas passed our sun on October 29th, every radio telescope on Earth was pointed upwards. We were listening for a signal going out to the stars. We were looking for a message sent home. And because we were looking up, we missed what was happening down below. New data leaked from the IceCube Neutrino Observatory, located at the Amundsen-Scott South Pole Station in Antarctica, tells a different story, a story that changes the entire narrative of this encounter. The signal from 3I Atlas wasn't a goodbye to the galaxy. It was a wake-up call to Earth, specifically to a set of coordinates buried under 2 miles of ancient ice in Wilkes Land, Antarctica. The visitor didn't just scan us, it unlocked something. Let's look at the evidence. The IceCube Observatory is designed to detect neutrinos, ghostly particles that pass through the Earth. Usually it detects a few high-energy events a month, but at 1400 hours on October 29th, the exact second 3I Atlas reached its maximum brightness, the sensors at the South Pole went blind. They were flooded. A coherent beam of high-energy particles struck the Antarctic continent from space. It wasn't solar wind. It was a focused transmission. And milliseconds later, seismic sensors across the continent registered a tremor. Not an earthquake, a vibration. A mechanical hum resonating from deep within the bedrock. Something under the ice turned on. To understand the gravity of this, we have to remember what 3I Atlas is. As we established in our previous investigations, this is not a comet. It has no tail. It has a blue shifted spectral signature indicating an active energy drive. It accelerated against the laws of gravity. It is a machine that is billions of years old. Now ask yourself, why would a billion-year-old probe transmit a signal to the most desolate, frozen wasteland on our planet? Unless it knew something was there. Unless it knew that Antarctica wasn't always a wasteland. Geologists tell us that Antarctica was once a green tropical paradise. That was millions of years ago. But maps like the Perihelion map, dating back to the 1500s, show the continent without ice, with rivers and mountains charted with impossible accuracy. History is full of gaps, and conspiracy theorists have whispered for decades that the ice at the South Pole is hiding the ruins of a precursor civilization. Perhaps they weren't just ruins. Perhaps they were a station, a dormant outpost left behind by the same civilization that built 3I Atlas. Imagine the timeline. Billions of years ago, they visit Earth. They build a facility, maybe a monitoring station, maybe a vault, maybe a weapon. Then, the climate changes. The ice comes. The facility is buried, frozen, preserved perfectly in the dark. It waits, it sleeps. And then, in 2025, the key arrives. 3I Atlas enters the system. It pings the sun to recharge, and then it sends the activation code. System check. Are you still there? And the thing under the ice answered. Since the 29th, flight logs show a massive increase in military cargo traffic heading to McMurdo Station. C-17 Globemasters, unmarked planes. The airspace over Sector 4, the region of the gravity anomaly in Wilkes Land, has been declared a no-fly zone. They claim it is for scientific calibration of sensitive instruments. That is the standard cover story. You don't close a continent for calibration. You close it for containment. What are they trying to contain? Reports from scientists stationed at the pole, who are now under a strict communications blackout, speak of the hum, a low-frequency sound that can be felt in the teeth in the bones. It is constant. It is getting louder. It is the sound of massive machinery spinning up after an eternity of silence. Reused block context for new viewers. Use this section to remind viewers about the object itself, padding the length. We must remember that we are dealing with technology that defies our physics. 3I Atlas survived a close encounter with the sun that should have vaporized it. It vented water vapor to cool itself, but produced no dust tail, a clear sign of an artificial cooling system. It changed its trajectory without propellant. If the object in space is capable of that, imagine what the object under the ice is capable of. We are talking about the same engineering, the same durable, self-repairing, billion-year-old technology. If 3I Atlas is the remote control, the Antarctica anomaly is the bomb, or the library, or the portal. We simply don't know. Back to new content. There is a theory known as the Sentinel hypothesis. It suggests that advanced civilizations place monitoring devices on primitive worlds. These sentinels stay dormant until the local civilization reaches a certain tech level, like splitting the atom or inventing radio. Or they stay dormant until a check-in probe flies by. 3I Atlas was the check-in. It verified that Earth is still here. It verified that the Sentinel under the ice is still functional. And now, the Sentinel has entered active mode. This explains the secrecy. This explains why world leaders have been making sudden, unannounced trips to the southern hemisphere. They are not visiting penguins. They are negotiating, or they are panicking. Think about the implications of the blue shift we saw in space. That energy signature was massive. Now imagine that same energy signature radiating from beneath the ice shelf. Heat, immense heat. Satellite thermal imaging shows a new hotspot forming in East Antarctica. The ice is melting from the bottom up. A subterranean lake is forming, not from geothermal vents, but from an artificial heat source. If that heat continues to build, the ice shelf could destabilize. We could be looking at a catastrophic rise in sea levels not over centuries, but over months. But the environmental threat is secondary to the technological one. If there is a ship down there and it decides to leave, the sheer force of it breaking through 2 miles of ice would shatter the continental shelf. It would cause earthquakes that would ring the planet like a bell. And where would it go? Would it follow 3I Atlas? Or does it have a different mission? We have been looking for aliens in the sky for so long that we forgot to look under our feet. We assumed that if they came, they would come from above, landing on the White House lawn. We never considered that they might have been here the whole time, sleeping in the cold, waiting for the alarm clock to ring. 3I Atlas rang the bell. The snooze button has been hit for the last time. Philosophical ending. The water. Antarctica is the closest thing we have to an alien planet on Earth. It is hostile. It is silent. It is white and dead. It is the perfect place to hide something you don't want found. For centuries, explorers have died trying to reach the pole. They felt a strange attraction to it. A pull. Maybe they sensed it. Maybe the hum has always been there, just below the threshold of hearing, calling to us. Now the silence of the Antarctic is broken. The machinery is moving. The data stream between the departing object in space and the awakening object on Earth is ongoing. We can't decode it. It's encrypted with mathematics we haven't invented yet, but we can see the volume, terabytes of data per second. Are they uploading a report on humanity? The monkeys have built nukes. The monkeys are destroying the biosphere. Initiate Protocol Omega. Or is it a download? Is 3I Atlas giving the base new instructions? The fleet is coming. Prepare the landing zone. We are standing on thin ice, literally and metaphorically. The governments of the world are trying to put a lid on a volcano. They are trying to keep us focused on the economy, on the elections, on the trivial distractions of daily life. But the ice is melting, the hum is growing. And the visitor from the stars has done its job. It came, it saw, and it turned the key. As you watch the news in the coming weeks, pay attention to the bottom of the screen. Look for small reports about ice shelf instability. Look for reports about magnetic anomalies at the South Pole. Look for sudden scientific expeditions funded by the military. They won't tell you the truth. They never do. But the evidence will be there. 3I Atlas is leaving, but it left the lights on downstairs. And we are about to meet the neighbors who have been living in our basement for 1 billion years. Stay warm, stay watching. And remember, just because you can't see it doesn't mean it isn't there. The ice hides many things, but it cannot hide the truth forever.